We just got our first look at WWE 2K25's gameplay with Royal Rumble clips, superstars, new additions, and more. So let's get into all of it. First thing I want to note though is Naomi. Naomi has made it into the base game of 2K25. 2K just revealed this yesterday. You could see here, the entrance looks great, doesn't it? I think they captured her entrance just very well. Her model looks great. Everything's up to date. It's looking fresh, isn't it? But let's talk about Up, Up, Down, Down. They did the reveal stream that was talking about showcase mode, and they did a little bit of gameplay with the Royal Rumble. So a lot came out of this little reveal. The Wild Samoans, they are in 2K25, and they look to be unlockables within showcase mode. So showcase is going to be the bloodline, and we are going to be going through all of these different stories, all these different matches and moments that revolve around all members of the bloodline. So for example, what they were able to show off here, we could see the Royal Rumble match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. We know that we're going to get Nia Jax at Queen of the Ring against Lyra Valkyria, where she became Queen of the Ring. The unlockables seem to be very standard as what we've had in the years past with 2K, where you're going to get a number of attires, alt models, championships, arenas. So all of that is going to be the same. But I do like how they have approached this, where it's not only going to be matches that we have played, but they are incorporating what they even talked about before as dream matches. So where you are going to have the example from the stream of the Dudley Boys versus the Wild Samoans. You still got to do all the standard objectives, but once we get our hands on it, I want to see more. I want to know if I gotta like Irish whip in the northwest corner of my opponent and then do a dance and all of that. We'll see. But I like the idea that they're incorporating other superstars and just matches that you haven't done before. That keeps it fresh, and we don't have the slingshot tech anymore, so I also think that's a little bit of bonus. The other thing is that Xavier Woods, he kind of just dropped this out of nowhere. Maybe they're going to be unlockables in the showcase is what I assume, but it's 3-minute warning. Woods confirmed on stream that 3-minute warning is in the game, which I think is awesome. Like, good on you, 2K, for getting 3-minute warning in there. It's all part of the Bloodline dynasty. So I really like this. This gives me hope that the roster is in fact going to be very, very large with a lot of different names that maybe some we didn't even expect. So you got Rosie and Jamal in there from 3-minute warning. That's a cool little callback and a nod to just having the Bloodline dynasty in there. I noticed in the stream though, Alundra Blaze, she is going to be in the game, and she in fact looks to just be in the base game, so she's not even DLC. They did do a little bit of the tag match between the Wild Samoans and the Dudley Boys, and you have just the standard stuff of the doing the taunts and doing the match objectives that you normally do. The big thing that they really showed off was going to be the Royal Rumble match. This was an intergender Royal Rumble, and this is where we were able to see Jimmy and Jay, and you could have Alundra Blaze come in, and you had Liv Morgan in there. So gloves are off. Yes, you can do intergender matches across everything. Here's my question regarding the Royal Rumble match type though, is you have this match where now it's going to be intergender. So I assume that during the stream, what they were doing was just select superstars. They didn't change any of the match rules. It auto-populates just random people for the Rumble, right? But I wonder if I can go into options and can I toggle it to be mixed, randomize, men's or women's Rumble. I assume I can, but I don't want to have to go in and manually change every single superstar. So if it is just always standard random people and it's a mix of men and women, I hope that 2K has just a toggle in there where I can say I want to do a men's Royal Rumble and I only get the men and I only get the women, or I can select mixed, because that's going to save a lot of time. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting there, we're going to be deleting everybody, and we're going to be tossing them back in there and then tossing them over the top rope for the Rumble. Until we all get our hands on it, I can't really speak about gameplay in terms of like how it played. Everything looked very much the same as 2K24, which isn't too much of a surprise. Probably a little bit more polish in there, but nothing where I was like, oh, that's a groundbreaking new mechanic. Nothing was shown, at least in that gameplay clip, that really wowed me or stood out as anything that's going to be different. They might have new mechanics in terms of what you can do in the Rumble match for eliminations, but nothing really stood out as like, oh, superstars look like they're quicker or slower or whatever, but maybe it's going to be in the details. The big thing though I want to highlight is the cameras. This is something I love. This was the biggest thing. It was my biggest yeah moment of the night, was seeing the options for the cameras. Just like when you go into highlight reel in the match, and last year they tweaked it a lot more, so you had way more control over the cameras, navigating around the arena and being able to show things off. In this stream, when they did the Dudley Boys match, you could see Woods toggling and changing the perspective for the entrances. What's hilarious is that this is something that AEW Fight Forever did with their little 6-second entrances where you could just switch the cameras and you could pan around. And I love that feature. And this is something that I wanted in the 2K games forever. I have wanted to be able to customize camera angles because we have create an entrance and you can tweak cameras in there and then apply it to the superstars. But I've always wanted it where I could just follow Cody's entrance from behind him, change the angles. It makes the entrances so much more dynamic. And there's also, I think, free roam in there. So I could just grab the camera and swing around the whole arena. So if I just wanted a giant top-down shot of Cody's entrance or LA Knight's entrance, I can totally do that. That to me makes it great. I love it for content because it's selfish that way, but I love it to be able to give players just something new and something fresh. You might think I'm getting way too giddy and too overexcited about something silly as cameras, but you gotta understand, we have nothing new when it comes to entrances forever. They're always locked. This is something brand new. And I love it because so many times you end up just, you skip entrances, right? A lot of people turn them off. You see them once, you're done. But now it refreshes it and it gives it a new kind of fresh coat of paint and it really changes just kind of the dynamic of it and changes up how the matches could feel. The other thing we saw posted, this was by IGN, but they had a first look at Jey Uso's entrance, updated gear. The model looked excellent. The criticism I have is that he doesn't come out through the crowd. They fixed the yeet. Remember last year when he was doing the yeet with the crowd and the crowd didn't do it? They patched that in and it was fixed. It is there. It all works. Jay's model, again, it looks fantastic, but the entrance is like identical. They didn't change anything. And I understand, like, it's probably too much to ask where we're like, we want the model to come through the crowd. But you know what? I say that. I'm tired, but I say that and I'm like, wait, we have the Shield coming through the crowd. We just have Edge and Christian come through the crowd. So they could do it. They could do it. Jay's been doing the crowd entrance for a long time. I am surprised that they didn't put that in then, because it's staple. It's part of Jay's whole presentation. The fact that he comes out through the entrance, I'm just kind of like, oh, it's the exact same thing. So I'm gonna give him a down for that, because I thought, yeah, they need to be able to have him coming through the crowd. Come on, you did it with the Shield. We could do this. I do like at the Rumble Arena and even the Day 1 arena that they showed off, you have the full LED barricades all the way around. So I think those are nice updates that they've done. We know that we have the Prime station there. I think even in Jay's entrance, I could see that in the crowd, you have these same areas where you can go over the barricade. The trash cans are there. So we're going to be able to brawl through the crowd once again. There's going to be a lot of good stuff in here. I think a lot of 2K25 based off of what we've read and what's released. I think a ton of it this year is about quality of life improvements. Nothing earth shattering where you're like the game looks and plays entirely different. I think that maybe there is just going to be a lot of these little tweaks, little improvements that when you add them all up, you got a pretty good game. But you never know. Maybe it'll just be hot trash. I don't want that. I want better than hot trash. Lukewarm to cold trash. That's what Matt likes. Naomi's entrance too has the women's tag team championship on her, which tells me that, hey, it's up to date with her and Bianca being tag champs. So that's a nice surprise. I also wondered with the Royal Rumble, when you have a Rumble winner, like they had Xavier Woods here win the Rumble, or a female wins the intergender Royal Rumble match. What about in universe mode? Will it work properly where you have a mixed gender Royal Rumble in universe and a woman wins and then she will be going to WrestleMania in the main event and it works? Because how many times have we played universe mode, everybody, and you are having your Rumble winner and they don't even make it to WrestleMania, or they're in like a show opener or in the mid card? Well, that's not really crazy because WWE tends to do that, don't they? You get a main event. But you know what I'm saying? They might actually, I need to know if this is gonna work. If you're gonna be able to do universe mode, Royal Rumble, Woods wins, and then he actually gets to the main event, or is the system gonna be glitching out on us? To be determined, I guess. And the other day we got The Rock, the final boss, and his full entrance motion. So if you wanna look at that, and a few more things we're talking about community creations, this is the video you need to click on. Have a great day. See ya.